So let's talk about the Samsung Galaxy Buds. Here are the Samsung Galaxy Buds, and I've had these headphones now for roughly a month, and I want to talk about my experience with the Samsung Galaxy Buds. Overall, what do I think of the Samsung Galaxy Buds? Well, overall, I think this is a certified go in my book, and I'm very happy with my experience with the Samsung Galaxy Buds. Now, the Samsung Galaxy Buds will run you $130, so you can see they're not the most cheapest thing in the world, but they're also not the most expensive thing in the world. But I think for what you're paying, I think most people out there will be a-okay with the experience with the Samsung Galaxy Buds. Now, I like these for a number of different reasons, but the main reason I keep going back to these is the fact that I love the convenience factor of a true wireless earbud. No longer do I have to worry about a wire, no longer do I have to worry about pairing, no longer do I have to worry about anything. I just open up the case, put them in my ear, and I'm good to go, and I'm out the door, and I'm listening to music. And then once I'm done listening to music, I just take them out of my ear, put them in the case, put them in my pocket, and I'm good to go. And that's why I love these headphones so much. I just love the convenience factor. If you never used a true wireless earbud before, then you may not know what exactly I'm talking about. But for those people who use things like the AirPod or other true wireless earphones, then you definitely know the convenience factor of a product like this. And if you listen to music all the time, you don't have to worry about jamming a wire in your pocket or worrying about big over-the-ear headphones, which may damage, because these do come in a case. So once you're done, your headphones will always be protected at all times while they're in your pocket, in your book bag, in your purse, whatever the case may be. You always know that you'll have sound at a pinch, and you won't have to worry about these damaging. You won't have to worry about trying to connect them. You won't have to worry about trying to put the wire in your phone if your phone still has a 3.5mm headphone jack. Overall, the convenience factor wins for me every single time, because I listen to music on a regular basis. I listen to podcasts on a regular basis, and with how much music and with how much stuff I actually listen to in my regular life, I think this is definitely worth it. And it's so convenient to have audio at a pinch. Just open up the case and you're good to go. Now, when it comes to the Samsung Galaxy Buds, I will have to say that these do play really nicely with latest Samsung Galaxy phones. So if you're on the S10, the S9, the S8, or if you're on the Note 9, the Note 8, or whatever, then it will play nicely with a lot of those different devices, and that's where these really shine. Now, you can pretty much use these on any device that does support Bluetooth, whether it's an iOS device, whether it's a laptop, whatever you're using, it will work as long as you have Bluetooth. But again, it will play nice with Samsung Galaxy devices. Like the Quick Connect feature, I think is only available on Samsung Galaxy devices. And then on top of that, you do get an application that does work with this, but the application is kind of bare bones. You're not really getting too much, but you are getting more than the AirPods. I do believe you are getting things like you can customize your sound with an equalizer. I know a lot of people think equalizers are kind of a gimmick, and I will have to agree the equalizer in my case didn't really do all too much to enhance the experience, but I do like the fact that at least they do give you an option to customize your experience when it comes to the sound, when it comes to notifications, because you can indeed get notifications on this. Like the little girl inside my ear will say, you have a message, you have a text, or whatever, and that's actually nice, so you don't have to keep pulling your phone out of your pocket. You can just have her read stuff off to you, which is very convenient. And then on top of that, you do get modes like ambient noise. So if you want to let in noises, if you're walking like a car, you won't have to worry about getting hit by a car. Or if you want to let in sounds like people's voices, you can let in sounds like people's voices. I want to make this clear in this video, these are not noise canceling headphones, but they do supply a pretty good level of ambient or noise isolation. So if you want noise isolation, you will get pretty good noise isolation. When I put these in my ear, it's kind of hard to hear my surroundings and kind of hard to hear people, but you can definitely still hear them. I want to make that clear. These are not going to be a replacement for noise canceling headphones, and I do own a pair of noise canceling headphones, and what I can say is these are not going to be a replacement for that. There are times in my life where I still need noise canceling headphones, because I may be at a coffee shop, I may be in a crowded mall, crowded somewhere, and I want to drown everybody out. Or maybe if I'm in a car ride and the car is very noisy and we're going like 70 or 80 miles an hour down the road and the car is just too noisy, I gotta drown out noise. So noise canceling headphones will always have their place, and honestly, in my opinion, they'll never be a replacement for something like this. But these are still gonna win in convenience, and these are the headphones I use on a daily basis. Now, when it comes to battery life on these headphones, battery life have been superb for me. I've been able to go 1 week week on battery. The earbuds itself give off 6 hours of battery, where the case, this is a charging case, this charging case does give 7 hours of extra battery. And with combination of me listening 3 or 4 hours a day plus the battery case, I can easily go roughly a week on battery, and that's very good. And the nice thing about these buds is the fact that you do have 2 different charging methods. You can charge with a normal cable, which is a normal USB Type-C cable, or if you want to throw these on a wireless charger, you can indeed throw these on a wireless charger. That's something I absolutely like about these headphones. And the nice thing about the Samsung Galaxy S10 line of devices is, you guys know it does have wireless power share, so if you turn your phone upside down, you can throw these on your Samsung Galaxy S10 and then it'll start wirelessly charging your device. So it's nice to know that you do have options if you do want to charge these headphones up. One thing I absolutely don't like about these is the fact that they're not really even water resistant or sweat resistant, to be honest. So be careful if you're buying these for things like exercising and you sweat heavily. If you sweat heavily, you could run into problems with these. I think for average people or most people, you're not going to run into problems when it comes to sweat, when it comes to light rain. But if you're doing things like running in heavy rain, or if you're doing things like exercising and you sweat heavily and you do different activities, you definitely want to be careful. There's definitely better options on the market for people who run in the rain, for people who exercise and sweat heavily and things like that. So if you're in an environment where there's a lot of moisture, there's a lot of liquid and things like that, you definitely want to look at a different option, because these are not certified for that. I want to make that clear, and that's the most disappointing thing for me, because I do sweat heavily sometimes, then I also am out in the rain sometimes. But I've taken this out in light rain and I have sweating pretty hot when it's on a hot day. Maybe it's like 100 degrees outside or 99 or 95 degrees outside, and what I can say is I've ran into no problems. But just know you may run into problems for what you're paying, and Samsung does not certify these for those type of conditions. But normal conditions, you should be a-okay. Even if you're exercising, even if you're in normal rain, I think you should be a-okay. But just keep that in mind as you're thinking about buying these. But here's what the headphones actually look like. You just take them out of this charging case and then you put them in the ear. It does take a quick second to put these in your ear, because they're not the AirPods from Apple, because as you guys know, the AirPods from Apple, they do have a stem, so they are much more faster and they're much more convenient. I will have to be 100% honest with you guys. But here's what the earphones or the earbuds look like in my ears. And the nice thing about these is I love the fact that they're a very secure fit when you actually put these in your ears. And you can see I'm moving my head back and forth really hard. I've even ran with these headphones on. I've even did pretty intensive exercise, and I've had no problem with these. That's also why I like this style. I think I like this style of true wireless earbud over something like the AirPod, because with the AirPod you have the stem sticking out of your ear, and I want something that's going to be more stealthy, less noticeable and things like that. That's also why I went with the black pair of the Samsung Galaxy Buds. They do make these in 2 different colors. They make this in white. I think they make them in 3, actually. I take that back. They make them in black, white, and yellow. I think yellow is hard to find, but black and white are very common. You can find those, but I decided to go with black because these stick in your ear much more better than AirPods, and they're less more noticeable, so I wanted to be as stealthy as possible. And I love the fact that it does give off very good noise isolation. Right now, I can definitely tell that there's some very good noise isolation going on with these headphones. One thing to take note about these headphones when you first buy these, if you try to use these from the first time you buy these, they may not sound all that great. That's because you don't have a good fit. Samsung does recommend that you really do have a good fit, and for me personally and for my ears, I actually had to change ear tips, and they do give you a whole bunch of different ear tips in the box, so you're not out of luck on that fit. So at first take, if you unbox these and you put these in your ear and you're like, why do these not sound good? That's because you actually don't have a good fit in your ear. You gotta make sure they're as tight as possible. If it's loose slightly, even though you may not feel like it's gonna fall out of your ear, if it's loose by any stretch of the imagination, then you will start getting kind of bad sound, and the sound won't sound all that good. So make sure you have an extremely good fit, and make sure it's pretty tight in your ear. And once it's pretty tight in your ear, it will sound pretty good. Again, it's not the best sounding thing on the market, but it's also not the worst sounding thing on the market. Overall, I definitely like the sound that's coming out of here, and it definitely beats anything else, and I think the convenience is winning me over every single time. The only other downside I do not like about this, talking about downsides, is I don't like the fact that it does take a quick minute to take out of my ear since the fit is kind of tight. So you can see it's not that fast compared to something like the AirPods from Apple, which are much more convenient. But overall, definitely liking my experience. Again, should you buy these at $130? Honestly, for me, I would definitely buy these for $130, especially if you have a Samsung, one of the newer Samsung Galaxy devices. Again, the Samsung Galaxy S10, S9, S8, Note 9, Note 8, whatever the case may be. I think you're really going to enjoy your experience, and it's hard for me not to go back to things like over-the-ear headphones or things like a wired headphone, because these are so convenient. They quickly connect. You just put them in your ears. You go down the road. They're in a little small case. You put it in your book bag. You put it in your pocket, and you're good to go. And you'll always have audio at a quick notice. And overall, definitely a thumbs up for me. And I definitely like everything about the Samsung Galaxy Buds. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from My Tech News, signing out.